Ever crushed all tasks one day, but you wake up the next morning scrolling on TikTok? Imagine if you got so consistent that you would be productive every day and achieving your big goals would become easy. Here's how to achieve it with this app that Ali Abdal used for the last 4 years to be consistently productive. Before I tell you about the app, let me show you why consistency is more important than you think. Because not only is consistency required to progress and complete your goals, with consistency, you build a positive momentum and motivation, which makes working itself even easier. To become consistent, you need to create a system that actually supports your consistency. And the best system like this is tracking your time. Because if you track your time, it's super easy to build that powerful momentum. But not only that, tracking time allows you to see your weaknesses and prioritize, which is crucial for improving productivity. Otherwise, you don't really know how you spend your time and you can't be effective with it. For time tracking, thousands of people use Rize, which automatically does it for you. It sits in the background and tracks what you're doing on your device. Even on individual websites, Rize will then tell you where you spend your time and calculates your working time. These charts that show your history are really powerful because human psychology makes us want to be satisfied. This is the reason why habit trackers work so well, because it's satisfying to have a row of completed habits for 30 days. And the charts do the same thing, so you're simply prone to have a successful day because your previous days were productive. And if they aren't, start easy and gradually build your momentum. When tracking one day, you can create your custom categories for track time so you know what you spent your time on. And to know if the time was spent on focused work and breaks, Rize has a built-in timer. You can start a work session, set your goal for that session, select the duration and the category, and even play music that's integrated in Rize. Then you can do the same for setting breaks. Also, Rize has a widget that shows you how much time has passed since you took your last break and also how much time have you worked today. This just makes it a little bit easier to be intentional and not wasting time. But setting the timer for working sessions makes a big difference because since it counts to your spent time, it really motivates you to respect the sessions, so you'll end up a lot more focused and you won't unintentionally waste any time. And it's also easily accessible because it's built in your computer. Also, I recommend setting the session goal in a smart way. Don't set a goal about finishing something, but rather a goal about an action. For example, to put 100% effort into the working session or not to be distracted, because this is what enforces you to really be productive without the risk of blaming yourself if you don't achieve an outcome goal. And if you do all these steps, you'll build your momentum and get insanely consistent with productivity. By the way, you can get Rize with a 25% discount for $13 a month with this code. Or you can also start a completely free trial. Link to Rize is in the description. There's a common mistake that leads people to waste hours of time and ruin their momentum. The mistake is not being in a performance mode. Let me explain. You tell yourself you'll start working after you eat your breakfast. You sit at your computer, but you start doing something else, like searching how many calories your breakfast had. This seems like a small thing, but it disrupts your focused mindset and acts as a distraction. And these distractions easily compound into wasting a lot of time because you will do it again and again. Instead, you need to develop a mindset that you're just going to work. No distractions, no worrying about other things, no thinking about work stuff that you can do later. Just working on the main task as soon as you can after a break, for example. It sounds simple, but it allows you to get into a performance mode that's gonna make you highly productive without wasting any time. Rize also allows you to set a schedule for when you want to automatically start tracking your time, which is gonna help you get into this performance mode. For example, you can set that it's gonna track your time within 15 minutes of waking up. It'll create urgency and you won't distract yourself. Instead, you'll get into the performance mode and be productive. All of this will help you a lot, but not if you have problems with focusing. Because if you can't focus, it's hard to be productive and consistent with it. The mistake people make is they want to focus really hard, but they have a poor mindset. And without a strong mindset, it's impossible. The best way to get into the right mindset is to evoke powerful thoughts. To evoke these powerful thoughts, create a short note with a few points that you're gonna read before every work session. I wrote just work and work fast to put myself into the performance mode where I'm highly productive. Then I visualize my goal, which is really powerful because it reminds you of why you're doing this and what you're trying to accomplish. It gives you a lot of motivation because it's something you deeply desire. Depending on what you struggle with, you can also write put 100% effort into it or don't get distracted. But make sure you keep it only 2 or 3 points so it's not overwhelming. And also, a really important thing is to consistently read it every time before a work session so you have it on your mind at all times. Putting yourself into the right mindset will make a big difference and also will make work feel easier. Rize has even more features that will help you achieve insane focus. After you end your work session in Rize, it shows you how you spend your time on different websites or apps. And if an app isn't in a productive category, it counts as a distraction. And also, when starting a timer for a work session, you can match it with a certain task that you categorize. And Rize can detect that you haven't spent all the time in the work session in the same category as the task. So for example, it will show you that you weren't fully working the whole time. Then it asks you to rate your work session. And with all this data, it creates a score of the session based on focus time, your rating, and distractions. So with this overview, it's really easy to improve because you can see how focused you actually are during the session. And it'll gradually improve your focus easily. But without this, you would be judging how you focused only based on how you felt you were, so you wouldn't be able to improve. Rize also has a distraction blocker, which stops you from any distractions. If you need to, you can customize categories for websites or apps, so Rize considers it a distraction. Then you can set the time needed to be spent distracted to trigger the distraction blocker. I recommend 15 seconds, that way it blocks you from being distracted right away. And also turning urge surfing on, which doesn't let you close the pop-up window of the distraction blocker. This will make sure you close the distracting website or app. Rize will fix your distractions on the computer, but you can still get distracted by your phone. If you want to learn how to stop scrolling forever, click this video.